my name's Nicole Ashley. I am at the Phoenix Comicon for Planet Earth TV. I am with Kane right now to talk to him about his life and his work. What is your profession, and can you tell the interviewers what exactly do you do?
I'm Tom Kane, and I'm a voiceover guy, or a voiceover actor, or performer. I'm still not sure after 35 years what the correct term is for what I do. But I talk for a living, and you hear me on commercials for radio and television, movie trailers, cartoons, documentaries. Anytime you hear a voice but you don't see the face that the voice is coming out of, that's called voiceover, and that's what I do.
Awesome. How do you get involved into this profession?
I did it a little oddly. Most of the people that get into voiceover work start off as either on-camera actors. In the case of people that do animation, a lot of them are former on-camera actors. Or like the guys, almost all the guys that do movie trailers are former FM disc jockeys.
Okay.
You know, that's why they have those voices. I was none of those things. I actually started doing commercials when I was a teenager, and just never stopped. I mean, I thought it'd be fun to hear myself or see myself on television, so I started calling some of the local advertisers, and I was a 15-year-old. I had no tact at all, so I'd be, hi, I heard your TV spot for the Waterbed Gallery or something, and it was terrible, and I sound better, so if you want to use me, I'll do it. And it did not occur to me people got paid for it.
Oh.
I just thought that, I was 15 and living in Kansas, so I didn't know anything about this. I just assumed that someone at the TV station or the radio station was doing the voice for that. And in the case of radio ads, that's usually true. Still today, it's almost all the radio ads you hear on a radio station are done by the disc jockeys that work there as part of their contract. But I didn't know that was any different for a local radio station or, ABC network television for all I just. But I got hired to do a spot, and there was a little comedy where they came up and talked to my father and tried to give him the script, but he's like, no, that's the guy you need to talk to.
Okay.
But yeah, one thing led to another, and a week later I was doing 5 TV spots, getting paid for it, and it just kept going. And I stopped counting 10 years ago when it passed 25,000. I used to keep a rough tally of how many individual commercials, radio commercials, network promos, movie trailers, and I hit 25,000 and just said, okay, I don't need to count anymore. And that was a decade ago, so it's probably more like 35 or 40,000 now, which is a ridiculous amount. I'm grateful for it, believe me, but it's a ridiculous amount.
Well, and then, who is your inspirational person in your life right now?
What, professionally?
Yeah, professionally or personal, whoever inspired you.
Well, from a professional point of view, I think the people I admire are the ones within my profession are just, other voiceover people that I think are just fantastically talented, and Billy West, Jim Cummings, Tom Kinney, there's Tara Sharondolf on the female side. They're just, some of them are just brilliantly good. And I know when I'm listening to somebody that's really good, because I suddenly find myself going, wow, I wish I could have done that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. And then, what's the process of becoming a voiceover? Like, I know the auditions and all that stuff, but what specific process do you have to do in order to be a voiceover?
Well, by process, do you mean to get into the industry or to do a specific job?
A specific job.
Oh, okay. Well, if it's a cartoon, the process starts when you get it used to be a call and a fax. And then before that, it was a drive into your agent's office and sit in the lobby, and they'd hand you a script. Now, for me, it's they just email me a PDF file or a Word doc, and a description, usually with a drawing of the character from the production company. and then a written description of the character, and they just leave it up to me to give them back 2 or 3 takes of what I think fits that description and the look. I mean, for instance, this guy, this was a character called Mr. Harriman, and the sketch I got 15 years ago, or when they were just in development with this, was pretty much exactly this, just no color. But it was identical to this sort of thing here, and they said, we want sort of for vocally, we want sort of a stuffy British colonel, from World War II. A lot of bluster and, so I walked in and I gave them, good heavens, Miss Francis rules are meant to be followed. And I had the job before I left that day, so. But yeah, it's you just you get the script, you at some level audition for it, you send it to them. In my case, as an MP3 file, and usually you hear nothing because you didn't get the part. Even as good as some of us are, they're auditioning 12 guys who are just as good as you are or better. So you get some, you don't get most, but you get some, and they call your agent and say, we need Tom Wednesday at 9 a.m. or 2, and they're almost all recorded either at 9 a.m. or starting at 2. They go 9 to 1 and 2 to 6. That's a cartoon session is 4 hours, so they usually don't take that long, but they can. But so at that point you're all, and it's kind of like an old radio drama. The setup is very much like an old radio drama. You've got all the microphones sort of in an arc, and there's a big piece of glass in front of you, and the director and the producer all on that side, and usually are the writers. And when we read through this thing, it's the first time we've ever seen the script. I mean, a lot of people think that they send it to our house and we rehearse it. We read it, then we go back and do pickups of what got mangled.
Oh, okay, and then I'm going to ask you a couple bonus random questions or whatever comes pop in your mind. Okay, DC or Marvel?
Oh, Marvel.
Okay, Star Trek or Star Wars?
Well, Star Wars.
Okay.
Star Wars, but I love Star Trek too.
All right, and vampires or werewolf?
Vampires.
Okay, zombies or cyborgs?
What?
Zombies or cyborgs? Machine.
I don't know what that
Terminators.
is. Cyborgs.
Cyborgs. Okay, and then one last question. What's the last thing that you think before you go to sleep?
What I'm doing tomorrow morning. Because my schedule is different from day to day, I have almost this phobia, or at least an inordinate fear, that I'm going to sleep through something.
Yeah.
So the last thing I do before I go to sleep every day is I reach over, open up my iPad, and it's set up so all I have to do is open it. It goes straight to my calendar, and I'm like, okay. And then if I have to reset my alarm, I do, and that's about it. I fall asleep pretty quickly. No deep thoughts.
Well, thank you for your time,
pleasure.
Mr. Kane. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
My name's Nicole Ashley from Planet Earth TV, where you'll just check this gentleman out and his works. So please like, comment, and subscribe on this YouTube. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.
This is Tom Kane, the voice of Yoda, yes. And watching Planet Earth TV, you are, yes. And continue to do, you will. Search the Force, and foreseen it I have, yeah.